Coming around.
Welcome back.
Coming around in the town. One time for your mind.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody for joining us here.
Come on.
Two Poor Podcasts. With one of my best friends here in the world. Known each other for about 30 years.
Copy. So
We're
long.
getting old.
It's so long.
We literally met, playing a video game introduced by a mutual friend. And then we were all wrestling out in the front yard.
Yes.
Talking shit. And we've been going at it ever since.
Been a Two Poor Podcast for 30 years.
That's right.
And in no way is that depressing.
No, not at all. It's good to see you. Good to see you here and good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be seen for sure. It's
been a long road. Want to do some housekeeping stuff before we get, settled in.
Let's go after it.
Social media, join us. Search Two Poor Podcasts on YouTube. Literally spaced, no space. The number 2 Poor Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe, see all our videos that we're going to be putting up here. Join us, comment, give us some likes and love, and support your local people, man. Support the people you know. I suggest doing that in every asset of business and life. Instagram, same thing. The number 2 Poor Podcast. Follow us. We'll follow you back. We really need your feedback on this. We want to hear what you want to talk about. I mean, if you liked what we said, if you thought it was funny, entertaining, you idolize and worship us, it'd be great. Whatever. Just play. Twitter at Two Poor Podcast, same thing. Spotify, same thing. Look up Two Poor Podcast and get it. If you're on the go, Spotify is a perfect outlet for that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like, subscribe, follow, comments, feedback.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Sorry about that. Yep, the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to hear it all. Want to hear it all. But
if we piss you off, let us know so we can just laugh at how soft you are.
Yeah, so we can do it again. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think the best thing ever that you brought up right there is supporting your fellow businessmen, your local, businessmen and women.
Absolutely.
Supporting and understanding what we're all doing this for, right?
Yeah.
And doing this, meaning this life thing. We're in the realm of wanting to watch people win, like our slogan is, right?
Yeah.
What? What is it?
Yeah, real people, real life, real stories, real triumphs.
Real triumphs. I want to see people win. My goal in life has been different as I've aged and gone through different things. Sorry, when I think about someone doing anything, I want to think about them winning at it. I want you to be the best that you can ever be at whatever it is that you're trying to do, respectfully.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of gone from being younger and being selfish, right? Because when you're young, it's hard not to think of yourself.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me? This situation is about me. This life is about me. As you get older, you have kids, whatever it may be, you branch out, you're starting to grow in business. You realize just how much you need everybody else.
Sure.
To make either your job easier, your life easier, or whatever it may be. And the thing is if you're looking at where to spend your money, because that's really one of the only freedoms we have, is who you support with your dollars.
Right.
So if you are going to support any business, a nail salon, a grocery store, buying clothes, whatever it may be, why would you not look at the people you know first?
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Because you know directly who you support. If I know I am going to buy this T-shirt and Jimmy sells T-shirts, man, I'll spend $5 extra to give it to you because I know the kids I'm supporting. Yeah. I know the wife I'm supporting. I know the family I'm supporting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why would you not go to them first? It's always a crazy question to me.
It's been like that throughout a bunch of different facets of things, like music. Think about music. We loved, we come from that 90s era of hip hop music and we loved it, right? But as you get older and you get into the music game or whatever, and then you see these other cats that are putting in real work.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to your favorite hip hop music and that you don't have that choice to do it, but why not go and give that guy a $10 bill for that album he worked on? For crying out loud, he might end up being somebody you really, really enjoy, right?
Yeah, you like it or you don't. But either way, you support it.
You support it. The dollars. People won't survive without of it. Businesses can't survive without the money, right? Without that cash flow coming in. there's a way that I'm gonna kind of start this thought process out here, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions about what you think about the process of perfect management. Okay. And what you think, what does that mean to you? If you're looking at the process in business, in your day-to-day, in your company, in your life, I'm talking about everything. I'm not just talking about the workplace, right? Okay. What does that mean to you when I say that, right?
You want my answer now?
Yeah.
Or you want to get into this bourbon first?
Oh, God bless.
Yeah.
Should we get to the bourbon first?
Let's get to the bourbon first, and I'll come back with my answer.
All right, God. Let's go.
All right. So, first official bourbon of the month here on Two Pour Podcast is this baby right here. For those listening on Spotify who cannot see, we're going with Eagle Rare. Rare. Now, some of the bourbons that we've picked out, some of the ones that we're still holding back, to see what we want to do. Some of them we've had, some of them we haven't.
Okay.
Right? So we're going to investigate them, discuss them and things like that.
Okay.
Eagle Rare is something that we've both had and we both really like.
Really, really like it.
Really like. I mean, to me, this is one, from top to bottom, from packaging to color to taste, smell, it's class.
It is top class.
It's class. So,
neat or on the rocks. It really, it's not too harsh. It's not too spicy, right?
Yeah. Great color. You got a reddish orange color. Eagle Rare, the 17, this is the 10 year, right? And that's the thing. No Eagle Rare is bottled or aged less than 10 years.
That's interesting.
Some of them will come out like a 6 year, 8 year, or even 4 or whatever like that. But Eagle Rare is a minimum 10 years. And of course, to our bourbon aficionados, a bourbon has to have 3 things to be called a bourbon, right? It has to be made of 51% corn or more, right? Has to be aged in oak barrels and has to be made in the USA.
Come on.
That's what I love.
Come on.
What I mean? Don't tell me you have Japanese bourbon.
Right.
No, you don't. You got Japanese whiskey. You don't have Japanese bourbon because it has to be made in the United States.
Wow.
So Eagle Rare, 1975, first came out. You want to know how small this world is and how,
I want you to tell us.
We were talking about on this rough draft, right? That, circling back around, Next Level Records, now we're coming with the Next Level Venture Group.
It just sounds so just official and adult.
I know, right? All right. So do you know who owned this company first? Who was distilling this first?
I bet that you're going to tell me.
I am. Seagram's.
Seagram's? Holy.
Comes back to our story we were telling about Seagram's Extra Dry Gin.
Oof. Yikes.
Oh,
I would rather drink gunpowder mixed with paint.
I would rather shoot myself in the ass cheek. All right.
Who would ever do that? Just think about the action of doing that. It's just...
Yeah, right? So, Eagle Rare, 1975, now is distilled at the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Where's your button? And we're going to pour one for our homies.
Yes.
Sean over here.
Helping out, doing the thing.
You know what's funny? Like every time I look over at Sean, I keep wanting to say Sean on the ones and twos.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, you can. Thank you.
Yeah. Sean over there. Here you go.
Sean.
There you go, mate. And so now Buffalo Trace Distillery.
Okay.
Owned by the Sazerac Company.
Man,
do you know Sazerac, 450 brands. 450 brands on their label right now.
That's insane.
It's just a massive company. The big keep getting bigger. That's why you need to support local people. Because at some point, the local people won't have a say and you're just going to be subject to corporations in America and around the world. And that's not where we need to be. But
nobody's going to be growing, right?
That's right. But this is a beautiful family of bourbons.
Yes.
A few of them we know and love.
Yeah.
And this is going to be one of them.
Oh, absolutely. You can even the scent of it that it brings off, little orangey kind of citrusy kind of deal.
Yeah, a little bit of mix of that, a little bit of mix of like some wood,
Yeah. Oh.
That's great.
All right. Well,
cheers.
First cheers. Right. Eagle Rare.
And the Scott glass, crystal glass.
Yes, mates. All right. Ooh. God, man, it's just smooth.
It's great.
It's smooth. You got that spice at the end of it. Mm-hmm. But it is
good finish.
It's my favorite. It's a good finish, right?
Yeah.
Back of the net.
Yeah, that's right. From deep, nothing but three, nothing but net. Started out when Seagram's made this, it was 101 proof.
Really?
It was 101 proof. Now it's 90.
Yeah. So a little bit less spicy for the...
A little bit less spicy. Now, you were talking about you wanted to be in that sweet spot of the 80.
Yeah.
The kind of that 80 to 90 range.
Yeah.
But it's smooth enough to where you don't feel the extra little bit.
No, not compared to other bottles, but it was the first one that my wife and I had, that both of us, and I think we had them neat, just like we're doing right now. And it was the first out of the Buffalo Trace, bottles or whatever, that it was just smooth. Everything about it was smooth.
Yeah.
Then, of course, after you have a few of them, that's when you put a knuckle of ice in there, right?
Yeah.
Cut it down a little bit. Relax a little bit.
And that's what we're going to do too. I mean, the reason why we wanted to do the 2 Pour podcast, was a gentleman thing. Mm-hmm. Have you one neat, have you one on ice, or on the rocks.
The good,
really
the
get
bad.
the taste of it. I mean, because it can change. It can change the complexity of the flavors and the profile and the heat.
1,000%. 1,000%. Because with other bottles that are too spicy like that, if you put ice in it or even cut it with some water, it will reduce that. But man, I really enjoy the bottle. I enjoy the story of it. And I like the fact that I didn't know Sazerac. I didn't put that together
that they own it now.
Well, no, I knew that they owned it.
Yeah.
That they have 450 different
450 different brands under.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. But this is actually distilled at the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Kentucky. And I swear at some point we're going to have to go do the Bourbon Trail.
Oh, without a doubt.
But I like it. I think it's class and everything. I have this tattoo on my arm, which is kind of weird.
Come on. You do have that exact tattoo.
Yeah. For, in representation of one of my kids.
Let's go.
But I mean, it's just classy. I mean, it's tall. It's not busy, right?
No.
I think when we're talking about products of anything, for me, I think you go one of two ways. You can have everything complex to where you have to pick it up and like, what the heck is this going on?
Okay.
Or you just simplify it.
Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right. Sometimes maybe you can go too simple or too complex. This right here is just class. Tall, cylindrical, bottle.
Cylindrical.
It's got an eagle on it.
Cylindrical.
Just like the name. So I think America,
Yes.
hashtag.
Yeah.
You can fully see the body and the color of it. It's great.
No, I agree. I agree, man. One of my favorite pickups for sure. So when you have a bottle of Eagle Rare, just a question to you, is that a celebratory kind of bottle? Not right now. I'm talking about if you go to your bar and you have, some friends over. Is that a celebratory bottle or is that a community bottle?
God, that's a great question. The problem is that here locally and lately it's been hard to get.
Right. Which will make it lean toward the celebratory bottle.
That's right. A special occasion. But if we were celebrating something like truly magnanimous,
sure,
I think I would go a step above. I would probably pull out like the Bookers.
Oh, sure,
you know what I mean, or maybe the Redbreast if we were going to go, a little bit outside of bourbon.
The point I was trying to make, just in talking about Eagle Rare, it's something that I'll kind of revert back to what my grandfather told me about wine one time, and he said that you've got your good wine and you got your community wine.
Yeah. This isn't something I'm gonna give the commoners,
right? So he would say common folk, right? He would say, "Hey man, go grab a bottle, the box in the right, blue top, go grab that. Let's have that."
Yeah,
we'd have it. Then he'd say, we'd have a whole bunch of people in the house, whatever. And he'd say, "Hey, go grab a bottle of wine, but the box on the left."
Oh,
right. So
that's right.
He's like, "Yeah, you can't waste a good bottle."
Yeah,
with a bunch of common folk, with a bunch of people that don't understand that this bottle it's not about being expensive. It's about what the bottle may mean celebratory wise, right?
So to answer it that way, it's definitely celebratory.
Okay.
Definitely. Because this right here is in my top 5.
Yeah.
Me and the ex girlfriend, we did a blind
flight.
Kind of a blind tasting with bourbons, right? And she put this up, she put this on. So she labeled them and kind of put them to the side to where she wouldn't remember, and then mixed the cups around and everything like that. And we tried 5 different bourbons. And unbeknownst to me, she put Eagle Rare in there.
Wow.
Just to see because that's one of my favorites. So just to see if I would actually pick it out.
And
that's
you did?
right. And I did. I picked it as my favorite.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, yes. But it's fun. I mean, that is fun. And I think we should probably do that on an episode too. Just
do a blind flight for sure.
Exactly. Just have some randoms that we've never had before and see what we rate them and everything like that.
I'm in on that, man. And I've been doing that as far as just randoms. Like I tried Uncle Nearest this past weekend. Mm-hmm. Not for me. Not that it's a bad bottle or that I'm not in support of that group, but just that it wasn't for my palate, right?
Yeah, and you tried the white label.
The white label, 1883 or 1884, one or the other. Sorry if I'm butchering that.
Yeah.
But one or the other. But it was just it had a sweet start. It had a scotchy finish, if that makes sense. And I've not had Tullamore Dew kind of, it's an Irish whiskey, but it has a kind of scotchy kind of finish.
Yeah,
but
so like a peaty, like moss type.
But like I know what I'm gonna get when I grab a Tullamore Dew, right?
Yeah, you weren't expecting
I wasn't
that finish with this.
No, and
that makes sense.
So then I'd put it up on a bourbon, North Carolina Bourbon Society or whatever, just asking people's thoughts on it, and it's a very mixed reviewed kind of bottle,
which is kind of like most anything, right? It's your taste, it's your palate, if you like it or not.
Well, somebody had put up and I wish I had their name right here so I could shout them out, but they put up something about, oh man, well, once I read the reviews about it, I didn't, I haven't grabbed the bottle yet.
Okay.
Right? Now, the only thing that I dislike, I don't dislike this guy that said what he said. I don't want to go and read 100 reviews without me trying it first.
Yeah.
Because this is a bottle of bourbon. This isn't a $1,000, thing I'm going to be buying for different purposes. They're going to be. This is a bottle that'll be gone, right?
Yeah, right.
And I want my own bias from it, right? And but I thought that was interesting that people, if you go down the wormhole, people are reviewing everything now, right?
Oh yeah,
reviewing fucking fingernail clippers, but the reviews that you'll read on Eagle Rare, I pull them up and look. People love this brand. They love it.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of your palate, it's getting positive reviews. I have seen reviews on it. I was looking at it, just for, for shits and giggles because I knew we were going to be talking about it today. And it spans all, all demographics and likes, it seems, and really high ratings everywhere you go.
It's one of the bottles that if you do pull it out around people that are bourbon enthusiasts, they know the name.
Yeah.
And again, it's that budget bottle thing that I hate.
Yeah, and I don't even know if you can call that a budget. Well, I guess it's all relative.
It's all relative. But all right, so that bottle, or I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, whatever, I went and got it for a pretty, easy price, pretty low price.
Yes.
And then they came out with single barrel, whatever, and I ended up sitting at the, in line for an hour to spend $100 on a bottle of Eagle Rare. And this is just me being a novice in my kind of infancy stages of learning.
Yeah, because we're not bourbon snobs.
No, I want to make that clear.
Yeah, we don't claim to be aficionados and stuff like that. But we're going to give you an honest man's opinion.
Facts.
Legit. And keep it real. So we're not sponsored by any of these brands.
No. Yet. And so I sat in, But hit me at jjbassdc@gmail.com.
Yeah. No, the reason why this table is empty, if you can see this up front here, is because these are for sponsors.
Yes.
You got a product you want us to talk and sell and use and give an opinion on. Send it to us
right there.
Next Level Ventures, nextlevelventuresyahoo.com.
I ended up, getting that bottle, and I opened it up, and my wife and I had it, and I think we both kind of look like it tastes like the $35 bottle, but I spent $100 on it
of Eagle Rare.
Yeah, because it was the single batch or the whatever.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So
gotcha.
so that was the deal with it. So
you didn't notice any difference? You didn't taste any difference?
I got to tell you, I didn't. And I'm, your everybody's palates are different, right? You have an ability to single out something that you've got a taste for, right? Like you did in that Blind Flight. There's so much going on with bourbon when I taste it that there's times I taste it and I taste a sweet scent of, caramel or a nutty kind of flavor, or then the harshness of the alcohol in some of them.
It tastes like you're licking a leather belt.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. You roll it around and you're getting, it's hitting different taste buds. And the thing about Eagle Rare in general is it's such a complex taste profile. It is all over the place. You know what I mean? So you can take a sip and taste something. You roll it around on the front of your tongue and you're getting all the harsh. You're getting all the leather, all the char, and you roll it around maybe on the left side and you're getting the sweet. You're getting a hint of vanilla. I saw somebody say toasted marshmallows with honey.
That came out of their brain. Does it have toasted marshmallows with?
Because that's great. Yeah, I mean, I just to be able to single that out is amazing to me. Some people just have that ability.
They have that. I don't. I
just know it's good.
Yeah,
I just like it.
I just know I'm ready for glass number 2 here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, might be a 4-pour episode.
No, it can't be that. It can't be that. We got to be safe on the roadways.
All right, so. If we're segueing here, if we look at a Sazerac with 450 brands,
okay,
they didn't get to that point without good management.
Okay,
right? Implementation of practices, key people in key positions. So let's go back. You asked me the question that you wanted to ask me before, and let me see if I can give an educated answer.
Okay, gotcha. So, what's your explanation of perfect process management?
We both agree that if we're looking at a business, if we're looking at being a business manager, it's the 3P philosophy.
Okay.
Right? It's people, it's practices, and performance.
Gotcha.
If we were going to simplify it nuts and bolts, perfect practice management is all about identifying the people that you have in the positions, teaching them everything they need to know about being successful in that position, and then holding them accountable.
Sure.
So you got to put the right people in the right position. A center mid is not your goalkeeper.
No.
Right?
Good point.
A point guard is not a center.
Copy.
You know what I mean? So you got to have the right people in the right positions, and then you got to implement the system that works. But the thing about it is systematic principles and practices, it's all fluctuating. Always. It's all liquid.
Always.
You can't be afraid to fail.
Right.
You can't be afraid to make a decision and implement something. But if it doesn't work, you can't be afraid to pull the plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So if we're looking at practice management, that's the way I feel.
Yeah. I think it's important to take everything you said right there, and for me deviating from said practice, said process is where failure exists, right? Mm-hmm. So if somebody put a process map together and said, I want you to start it this way, I want you to streamline this way, I want you to finish it this way, don't deviate from that, because the results that we're getting and generating via the data that we have says that this is a win.
Yes.
So let's do it. So again, with things that fluctuate, okay, people, right? Mm-hmm. People in that trifecta you're talking about. Yeah. Man, the one thing that I know about in the human, emotion, the human condition, you never know what's going on the other side of that conversation. You never know what's happening with that person. You never know what's going on in their life, right? But at the same time, you got to hold them accountable. Hey, man, I understand things are tough. Things are hard, right? Maybe this job isn't for you. Maybe what we're putting you in is something that you're not ready for, or something that you're not really, built for. You got to be honest with them. You can't sugar something up. You can't tell somebody what they want to hear, right?
Yeah.
So for me, don't deviate. Stay the course, right? And it takes 21 times to make it a habit, 21 days to make it a habit, all that, etc.
I've heard 6 weeks, but either way, practice becomes habit, habit becomes you.
Copy, right? Perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Anybody else that says anything other than that is somebody that's got a balloon for a head.
It's one of the things I used to love when I was coaching first practice. Mm-hmm. You go out there and you're talking to the team, you're talking to the parents, and you ask them, hey, if I asked you a question, and this question was, practice makes what? How would you answer?
They all said perfect.
Yeah. And I said, no. Practice makes habit. Habit becomes you.
Practice makes permanent.
Practice makes permanent. That's exactly verbatim, the word. And they're like, okay, I can see. And that's like, That's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to scrap what you think you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And let's start from day one. This is a basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we put this into our hoop more times than the other team puts the ball into their hoop, we win.
Yeah.
Right. And I want you to take it from ground up.
Well, you got to simplify it too, right? And,
That's right.
And when you think about process management and you think about the one line that I hate more than anything else is that, well, this is how we've always done it. Well, yeah, but that's why you're failing right now.
Yeah.
Right. I failed, man. I am a perfect example of somebody who went in, tried to do something. I didn't follow through on my own accord, and I failed at what I did. I'll take that on the chin. I'm very okay with that. I'm very comfortable with myself on that. One thing that I do know how to do, I do know how to see something and see where the failures are or see where the problems are and write a process map to fix that. Right.
Yeah.
And
you learn, you adjust.
You learn, you adjust, and you look at the data. The one thing that we have at our disposal all the time is data, right? Analytics. Read it. Understand it. One of the greatest things about management, I asked a former service director I worked for. He was amazing. His name was Ben Byler. Just very intense, but not over intense, right? I come in there, man, I just don't understand why. And I'm just bitching. And he'd look at me and say, listen, I can't fix your emotions, okay? I can't fix what's going on with your emotions. I can't do that. Bring me details. You want me to fix something? Bring me details.
Yeah.
And then you're just sitting there, all right, I'm going to go again.
Let's try this again. I'm going to step back out and walk back in.
I'm going to man up real quick. But that was over 10 years ago, or more than that, actually. But what you end up doing, right? You end up finding out the most important pieces. And what I asked him was, what is they just made me a service director at a store. It's 2015. I don't know what the hell.
And that's a big position.
And he said, you got to understand what the numbers are, why they care about the numbers, what they mean, right?
Yeah.
That's how all the other stuff fits in the narrative, fits into place. Hey man, will you work with me? Will you and we work together side by side? We do a great job today. We have great chemistry. You believe in what I believe in to get this job done. Okay. I've got that part of it. But now it's the analytics. Now it's the data. Now it's the numbers. What does it mean? Why is this number not hitting the margin it should be hitting?
Yeah.
Learn it.
So as a manager, I mean, are you are more focused on the numbers, driving for the numbers, no matter what, the numbers, or do you see, because on my end, I mean, and I saw a great quote, posted on social media. It's one of the things that I believe more now than I ever have before.
Okay.
And the quote was, we become leaders when we start focusing more on the people than growing numbers.
Right.
Because I believe that if you fix your people problem, you don't have a numbers problem.
Well, I get that, but I'm gonna go against you real quick and say, listen, all right, Jason Bridwell and Jimmy Bass have a company, Next Level Venture Group, and we are instilling that in somebody. But we still got to make money. We still got to run a business.
Yeah.
And this said person over here, it has everything that you just identified. He isolates all that, but he's not doing the numbers. Guess what? Got to go.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Got to go.
Yeah.
So I'm not disagreeing with the quote and what it meant to you. If what you asked me a second ago, I'm a number driven manager.
Yeah.
Right. All the other stuff falls into place with me. Like I want the goal. Right. I'm a soccer guy. Right. Soccer coach. Right. I don't care about east to west so much. I don't care. We can play the ball here. We can open up space. Do whatever you want to do. I care about going and scoring a goal. And winning the game.
Yeah.
I didn't come out here to see how many times I can pass the ball. I want to score the goals.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, you can control possession, right?
Sure.
One of the things about Charlotte FC, local club, we both like them.
Come on.
One of the things about Charlotte FC is this year they've been great at controlling possession.
Right.
But they hadn't been scoring a lot of goals.
They haven't been able to stuff. Yeah.
And so with my quote that I like, it's provided the right people are in the right positions. you focus on growing them, and the numbers take care of themselves. You're already where you need to be.
Gotcha.
But you continue to invest in them and care about them and show them the right way, and those numbers continue to grow.
Gotcha.
Right?
I see where you're going.
It's not just, hey, like I got this great guy and he's my assistant manager and he's a hell of a nice guy and he brings me coffee every Friday morning, but he doesn't sell shit.
He's got the worst numbers in history.
In every branch in the company. No, I mean, I've always looked at this way as a manager and a coach. It's you find where that person that you're talking about, on your team, the best position for them.
And what makes them tick, right?
Yeah. Find the why, right, of what motivates them. But it's the right person in the right position, the point guard, the center mid, the goalkeeper, the quarterback, the offensive lineman, whatever it may be. You find out where they're going to be most successful. Yeah. Now, to them, you sell them on they're in the best position to make them successful.
Sure.
Or that they can be successful.
Yeah.
But for you as a manager, it's twofold, right? It's for them, but it's also for the company.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? How are they going to be the best for me? How are they going to be the best for our team? How are they going to be the best for our company?
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people are dummies. I don't think a lot of people know that work for their managers, directors, owners, etc. They know that they're in it to make the money.
Yes.
Not I'm in it to make as much money as I can and fuck all of you and your kids and I whatever. It's all about my kids. Yeah. Right? I can come into your house and call your baby ugly, but you're not going to come into my house and call my baby ugly.
Now reverse that.
Right?
That's my rebuttal.
Yeah. No, but you have to be able to identify that you're putting the right people in the right place and say, listen, Jason, what's the number that you're trying to get to? Because I'm going to tell you, you've been working here for 3 years, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to bring up some data real quick. You haven't grown in the last 2 years. Your first year, you came in swinging, and you were doing great.
Yeah.
But you found a comfort zone. You found a comfortable place, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm looking at data. I'm looking at what all the other folks are doing with the same amount of workload that you have. Mm-hmm. How come that person's making $20,000 more than you a year? How come that in the same position, same balls getting pitched at him, same baseball bat to swing with?
We're talking apples and apples.
Right? We're not talking, well, it's because he's a manager and I'm not. Or no.
Yeah.
It's because he's processed or she's processed or they believe
they've implemented things.
The process. Here's the thing that I know, right? If I'm gonna talk to anyone about business, mm-hmm. and you pull up and you've got I will never quit. What's that? What shirt is that? Oh, okay. It's breaking that ice real quick, right?
Yeah. It's Till Valhalla project.
Right? Come on.
Yeah. Right? We'll talk about that in a minute, maybe.
But you find that now listen, the process map that we have is to greet the customer, to welcome them to your establishment, to ask them what's going on and what they've brought their vehicle in for. I'm obviously talking about my business.
Whoa, hey. Sorry. It went right into character.
Pump the brakes. But I changed my voice when I talk to them like this. And,
yes. Are you a used car salesman?
No, I'm not. I sell parts.
I sell services to used cars.
But the process is welcome them in, right? You do a walk around on the car, you check things out.
Forget the second part.
Okay.
You said you first welcome them.
Welcome them.
How understated is that right there in business?
Oh, without a doubt, 1,000% over and over again. You know what? You know what I think that is one of the greatest things ever, and it started with CC's Pizza, right? And then welcome to CC.
We all know it.
Everybody.
We all know it.
And then the other one that kind of jumped on that.
Okay.
Welcome to Moe's.
Yeah, welcome to Moe's.
Listen,
it worked.
Listen, here's the deal. If I'm working there, a part of the condition that you have to work here.
Yeah.
You can't work here if you don't do that. If you don't say welcome to Moe's, you cannot work here.
Day one, first introduction to a customer is so important. The thing
process
is exactly right, but you got to have the right people to believe in it.
Correct.
Not do it. Because we all know people who walk through the processes, right? We all know it. Hey, welcome to CC.
Yeah, I hate my life.
I want to bury myself
in a humongous joint.
That's right. I want to bury myself in this macaroni and cheese pizza. But I mean, as soon as you walk in, if you believe in it, right? Just so we're talking about passion.
Yeah.
We listen to people, we listen to athletes or podcasters or whatever it may be who are passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to CC's.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I can't
Buy
wait
this
to eat
$4
that.
pizza. I can't wait.
Yeah, is that a cheeseburger pizza? Is that lasagna pizza?
Do any of these video games work?
And then every time that you talk to the guy, he goes, "Hey, welcome to CC's," and you're like, "Oh, that's all you can say." And I appreciate him.
right.
I appreciate him. But guess what?
Yeah.
He's following process.
That's right.
Don't deviate from it.
It
you
works.
Know what? I'm not going to pretend like I'm trying to get these results. Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's ways that you can bring some levity into that. Right.
Okay.
I can walk into a gym. Huh? I can put on the gear, the headband. I got the
leg sleeves.
I got the freaking headband on, my hair all up, and my and then go over there and I get on the walker and I'm doing the walker thing.
Yeah.
But man, you're walking through this shit though, like kind of what you were saying before. Like this person comes in, and not to give this guy any discredit. This guy went into the gym. Mm-hmm. But did he go into the gym because he wanted to go in there and actually follow a process and get better, or did he just want to be seen?
Yeah.
Or
This is the place to be.
what's that? The movie Departed.
Okay.
Do you want to be a police officer, or do you want to be seen? Right? Whatever.
Yeah.
How did he say it? Or do you want?
I don't remember that line. I remember the movie.
God, it was when.
Was it Matt Damon?
It's Matt Damon, but at this point it was Leonardo DiCaprio. And, and it was when Mark Wahlberg was just giving him. He's like, you get two different accents. You're like two different people. But do you actually want to be this thing, or do you want to pretend to be this thing? Right.
That's getting the buy-in.
Yeah. Right. So what can you do if you see someone? So we're talking about the art of managing, right?
Perfecting the art of management.
Perfecting the art of management. I'm going to tell you something. I'm butchering it. I'm going to tell you something.
You had one job. There's a card.
There's no such thing as perfect management, I don't think.
It's striving for it.
Oh God,
you'll never get there.
No, it's unattainable. It's like golf. It's like trying to. It's just you're never going to win that game.
Yeah.
But you can do very well at it and get paid. The PGA, I can shoot a 89 or 91 every now and again.
Well, hell, now they got the Live Tour for all the people who are really not hacking it on the main tour.
All right, now listen, Live Tour, I shoot a 88 sometimes if you want to put me on your roster. Yeah, but, you find these players, you find the people, right? Then we're talking about the process.
Yeah, people and processes.
Right? And now we're talking about the result side of it, right? The performance.
Yeah.
The performance is gonna show us where the results are. What is a winning result for you, right? And let's say you're graded on two things. Only two things, but you got to pick one of them.
Okay.
Customer reviews on all platforms have to be a 4.8 out of 5 and above for you to win the game.
Okay.
Or beating your year over year by 10%.
Beating the year over year.
Why?
Because whoever says the customer is always right is a fucking idiot. Because that's not accurate, right?
Okay.
Today's world, you cannot please everybody.
That's a fact.
You can't pretend to please everybody. You can't set out the goal to. Well, I guess you can set out the goal to please everybody. My biggest thing is our people. And you talk about a business, right? If you're a manager, your team, I don't care. I mean, all right, let me clarify this. Hold on.
We're going to be on a pause for 3 seconds.
I care about the upper management.
Okay.
I care about the whole structure of the business that I work for.
Okay.
But I do not care about the people above me more than I care about the people that I work with every day at my location.
That's a great point.
That is my team. That's why I'm doing it. That's who I care about.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. That's what makes you a leader, because there's some people on the planet that would say, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's talking like that about his upper management." I don't think the upper management would ever look at you and think anything or disagree.
I mean, I hope not.
Because you're out here on the front line with these guys every single day. These guys and gals.
Yep.
The one line that everybody has said, I'm sure, or heard, is I spend more time with those people than I do my own family.
I talk about it in every interview.
So I want to make sure that what I'm actually saying is they're my family too. This is who people I spend all of my day with. somebody said to me one time, we're leaving work. Guy goes, see you in a couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, in reality.
What?
Yeah.
You're going to be knocking on my door?
You coming over for dinner?
No, he said, think about it. You go home, you hang out with your kids and wife for a few hours, you go to sleep, you wake up, you're back at work. See you in a few hours.
Yep.
It's a great kind of point that might massage a little bit of realness in your life. Like, all right, we go to work all day long. We're thinking about going home, being with our families or being in our respective space, whatever like that. The key to winning for me, or that I think of, I look forward to going to work. I do.
That's the environment you want to have.
I look forward to going hey man, I'm tired. I might not have slept well last night.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, but I want to I'm looking forward to going to work.
Yeah.
And seeing what that day has to offer. All right. Let's see what we got to do. Let's look at the numbers. Let's see what we're tracking. Let's see what we got to do today to be able to hit that month number, to beat that month number, right? To beat the goals, to talk and then when you start the day off and you see people that are practicing the process maps and they're doing, not walking through, but they're doing it.
They're bought into the practices.
They're bought into and then you see them winning throughout the day, and you see them swinging. The one thing, people are going to say no more than they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
In any business, right? People call a parts business because they are looking for a part that they need to fix whatever they're doing.
Exactly. They're not calling for happenstance.
No. Where on the service side of things, people are coming in and saying they need this one thing, and you're saying, okay, but I'm going to let you know everything else that you could do at this point.
Yeah.
Whether it be mileage based, time based, condition based, right?
Yeah.
But it's again following that process map and not deviating from it, because the guy that got out of the car looked like he's in a bad mood, or he's got an A-type personality.
Yeah. And that's huge right there.
Yeah.
Right? We've talked about this before. When somebody comes into your place of business, if they're coming in to get a car repaired, they're going to buy a car part, they're not happy.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
and
there's no convenience.
Yeah, it's not happy money. This is not going to buy a TV at Best Buy, or a new laptop, or going on a trip, looking for cruises we're going to book, right? This is bad money that we don't want to spend,
right?
And also you have no clue what's happening with this customer.
No,
you don't know if there's family trouble. You don't know if their wife just walked out. They have a kid sick. They lost their job.
The human condition.
That's right. You have no idea what's going on with that person when they walk into your place of business. So you have to have your team, and including you. It's a big thing too. You can't manage others unless you manage yourself first.
Right.
You have to implement the right practices in your own management style and life so that you can accurately manage other people.
Sure.
To a good place. So be empathetic. Well, greet them. Yeah. They might not have seen somebody smile at them in 3 days. Yeah. You don't know.
No, it's
greet them, smile. Even if they treat you, even if they don't even acknowledge it, you still did it with a good heart. You still did it, with the right thoughts in mind.
Correct. Correct.
In those practices, and bring them in. Be empathetic. Be polite. Be nice. Let them know the stuff. Go ahead and pitch the stuff that you need to pitch. They might not say yes. Well, but at the same time, you're offering them those options of things they need. What
you got to do, and I think this very strongly. I'm not a guy that's just going to go and get my hair cut anywhere. Okay, you want to be great at what you do. Be that customer's barber. Meaning, man, I'm not going to anybody else but Jimmy. If I need this done, I'm only dealing with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not there today? Okay. I'm going to call him tomorrow and cuss him out.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to come by yesterday, but you took the day off. I'm sorry.
Did I authorize you to take a day off?
But you end up getting in these kind of relationships with customers where they trust you to cut that hair. They don't want anybody else to butcher them up. Yeah. I only want to go to you. Well, that came from something, right? That was derived from something. That was built from something.
There you go. How did you get to that point? How do you get to that point with a customer to where they trust you to take care of whatever it may be? Right. A haircut, a parts supplier, a service person, because there's a lot of Toyota dealerships in the world. There's a lot of Chevrolet dealerships in the world. Why are they going to come to your dealership and only deal with you? How do you get to that point?
Right. It's by practicing.
Yeah.
Perfecting the management style. Wow. Hey. Now listen, my biggest, success of being able to do that job as well as I did it. All right. It was listening and understanding and being available, and not just, all right, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, all right, that's and having no life, right?
Yeah. Truly being empathetic to their situation.
Yes. Listen, there's nothing convenient about getting your car serviced. When you drive by a place and it says on there, get your oil changed in 25 minutes or less. Okay. All right, well, cool. Go get your oil changed in 20. These guys are running to finish your car. They're going to do it as fast as possible.
They're rushing
and they're going to miss stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? The one thing that I'm very good at? I'm very good at somebody saying, well, man, all I did was come here for an oil change, and now you're telling me I need a trans flush, and you're telling me I need a tire, and you're telling me I need wipers, and you're telling me that my oil pan gasket's leaking. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, I am. I'm telling you that. And listen, I'm not forcing this on you. I don't want you to think that you have to do it, because you just don't. Yeah. But I do want to tell you something. What if you leave here, and what if you go somewhere else, and they say, hey, did you know your oil pan's leaking? Hey, you got $65,000 or miles on your vehicle. Did you ever get your transmission flushed? Hey, did you know you got a nail sticking out of the back of this tire? I mean, it's not flat yet, obviously, but it's obviously tire pressure's going.
Well, I just had my vehicle.
I was just there.
Yeah.
Well, see, listen, that's why you got to follow the process of it, right? Yeah. And that's why you got to be able to sell. I'm going to tell you something about the selling aspect of it, the performance part of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I really and truly believe this. If you back that up, check that. If you go for the sell, the soft sell, the early sell, because it's not convenient to go and leave, go get your truck worked on, etc. But if I tell Jason Bridwell, listen, this is what you need. The last time you came in here, you had deferred a couple services. I'm just going to let you know what those are. If you haven't got them done yet, you still need to get them done.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Right? And then, yeah, man, I'm just going to get what I came in for, oil change, state inspection, whatever like that, and you walk inside. You call your wife. Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up? What's going on? And yeah, he's telling me about the trans flush and the this. That. Well, why aren't you doing it? Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't either. Well, no, I can just.
I'm a man. I know what I need.
I can come pick you up, and we can go. There's an art into it, and there's a reason why we put into the process maps of you trying to let the customer in on what they know or what they need to know. Educate them on what they need to know. They can say no every time, and there's plenty of customers that do, and God bless them. I don't want them to get hurt out there on the roadway or their car to break down or anything like that. But I don't ever want them to look back and say, you know what? I didn't know I was supposed to get this done. I didn't know that the effect would be this.
Yeah, it's the education part of it.
Educate.
So question then, cheaper for preventative maintenance or cheaper to repair something when it's broken?
Preventative.
Absolutely.
Preventative. All day long.
It's just like anything else. I mean, if you want to keep your body running at optimum performance, maybe you need to go see a chiropractor every once in a while. Maybe you need to hit the gym. Maybe you need to watch what you eat. That's preventative maintenance.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point, and it hit directly into my heart just now because I feel like you're talking to me in my soul.
I love it when I can give dual purpose comments.
Yes, backhanded compliment.
Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare it's tasty. It is tasty. You know what? You know what else though?
What's up?
I feel like I can fly a little bit when I drink it.
Spread your wings, my child. Spread your wings and fly like the bird you are.
Yes, I like that. That was weird. I never want you to do that accent again.
Okay? I don't know what that was.
I don't either. I feel like it was the kind of derived from the story you told me about the milk. Anyway, we'll get into that another time.
Oh, man, if you're going to Cancun, I need you to visit. Actually, you know what? They closed the place down.
I don't doubt it. It's probably a bunch of people dying after leaving there.
Nah, it was actually some weird stuff. I don't even want to talk about it. But, but it was great. It was fun. No, but getting back as far as management, very, very important thing that you said was educating the customer.
Sure.
Okay. One of the things that I used to do going into a store, we would have multiple younger people working at this, Fortune 500 company I used to work for. You go into a store and it's kind of like the mock joke of a lot of, shops out there and stuff like that. Man, y'all don't have anybody over there who knows anything and blah, blah, and this and that. Well, how are they going to know if somebody's not taking the time to teach them?
Right.
We were all young once. We were all stupid in our jobs once, right? You learn, you get better. How do you get them better? I would go throw a random product on the shelf or from the shelf and put it on the counter. And it's like, okay, sell me on this.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 different brands of this product. Why am I buying this one?
Right.
Well, it costs more. It's better. Not necessarily. It might not be the right part for my vehicle. How are you selling me on this?
Yeah.
And they would, and sometimes, people would
Product
give a try.
knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Some people would give a try. Good for you. You tried. Now here's how I spin it.
Yeah.
And then you educate them on it, right?
Yeah.
And it's building the confidence. A lot of the younger people, they want to know the why. Right. This is helping people like you and me who are early 40s, right? I know we're telling our age, but we're early 40s. We've been managing for a long time. We've worked our way up in respective fields. We've given everything we had. We wanted to be more, wanted to learn more, right? We were those young kids at one point.
Oh, without a doubt.
That's one of the greatest parts of my job right now is I have 2 younger men there at work who I can give everything I got to help them become better men, better leaders, future leaders of the company, better at their job now. It's great watching the growth, but they don't grow, or they might be able to grow. They're growing on their own.
Sure.
But they don't truly get to where they need to get to if I'm not giving them everything I have.
Correct.
And, to educate them.
And a great practice that you were talking about earlier is sell me this, right? So
sounds corny.
So, hey man, people listen, it's not organic and it's not real. It's not real because but you know what? We're going to do it cuz I want to hear what you sound like. Sell me this cabin filter. What's cabin filter doing? Sell it to me real quick. Yeah. And we'll do it in the morning meeting. And I'll go from one end of the spectrum to the other. Sell me a transmission.
Yeah.
Sell me a cabin filter.
Yeah.
All right, now sell me a transmission. Okay.
That's a completely different sell.
It's a completely different sell because there's a humongous difference in how much it costs, right? Yeah. And what they do. My car's gonna drive. If I take the cabin filter out and throw it out of the fucking car like a frisbee, it's still gonna drive.
Absolutely.
Can't drive without the transmission.
That's right. Car's not going anywhere.
But that's not the point. The point is sell me on the product. Yeah. Sell me on it. Tell me about it. Educate me real quick on it.
Being able to approach the situation in the same manner.
Everybody has different ways of selling. So when we do these practices and these exercises, right, you'll find that there's a couple of employees that can just nail it every time.
Yeah.
And that's where when you're rounding it up, when you're done, throwing some final notes on it, you're saying, I like the way that he did. I'm going to tell you the way he did it, and what was a couple of the key words that he said. Does anybody know a couple of the key words that he said to make that really, really stick out? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna kind of butcher the way he said it, but I said, "Sell me a transmission or sell me brakes or whatever it was." I think it was brakes. He started with, "Hey, listen. The good thing here is that we found out what that noise was." Okay? Yeah. It is coming from your brakes, coming from the indicator on the inside pad. It's down to 1 millimeter. This is something right now that we really need to get done, or else it could cause your rotors to,
Yeah. So when you came in, you told us that the car was making a noise. We found the problem.
Hey, good news. We found the problem.
Yep.
And everybody recognized that.
Yeah.
And one thing that you do as you're watching and listening, observing what's going on, you'll hear a couple of those people use that. So that's a takeaway from that practice. Yeah. You'll hear them say it a couple times while they're talking to customers. Not saying it's going to work every time, because that's not what it's about. It's not about clubbing people over the head and trying to get them for all their money.
That's right. Yeah, it's not hoodoo.
Or is it?
Well, you're a numbers guy. Yeah. You said you're a numbers guy.
Woo, love that money.
Oh man.
No, but again, it's getting takeaways from it. And so we did this. We do this morning practice, this exercise. Sell me a cabin filter. Wolf of Wall Street. Sell me this pen. But and then he gives it to the guy that doesn't even work for him, the guy that is the drug dealing, whatever friend of the group.
Yeah.
He's like, sell me the pen. All right, okay, I mean, can I get your signature? You don't have a pen? Oh, yeah, here's one. it's just.
No, I love the whole sell me this pen thing, and the guy walks out of the office.
Yeah,
and then he's like, where the hell did he go? And then he calls him. He was like, hey, you want this pen back? $10.
I'll bring out
You know what I mean? It's there's more than one ways to milk the cow.
Yeah,
2 hands is preferable. Oh man,
God bless.
It's about the practices and education, and bringing up the abstract ways to do things, right?
Yeah,
putting people on the spot.
Okay.
Sometimes people need an ego check.
Including yourself.
You think you're good, you know what I mean? But let's just all right. So I go into this dealership one time, all right, and I had a Honda Accord at the time, right, and this Honda Accord was a 4-cylinder time and chain motor. The service writer tells me, I was like, hey, I'm coming up on 100,000 miles. Now, he doesn't know who I am, right?
Yeah.
Know your audience. If you don't know your audience, pretend you can't, you got to be neutral.
Okay.
Right? You can't automatically hammer down like you think that they know something or don't know something.
Okay.
You got to assume that it's just blank. So educate. And I was like, well, I'm coming up on 100,000 miles. I know I need to do spark plugs, on the Honda Accords. All right. Honda's is pretty notorious.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this?
Not because I've heard it.
Oh.
I just know what you're going to say. Go.
So I was like, okay, so what is there anything else I need to look at for mileage? Right? Because I've learned enough to know that preventative maintenance is super important.
Come on.
And I don't want to replace something if it's broken. I'd rather go preventative maintenance and take care of the car as I go, or the vehicle. Super important for anybody out there listening. All right. And he says, well, if you're coming up on 100,000 miles, then you need to replace your timing belt.
Yeah, you have 6 different timing belts in this car. We're just going to replace one of them.
Yeah, just one. That's all you need, And I'm like, really? Timing belt? And I was like, okay. I was like, well, mine's a 4-cylinder. I don't think it has a timing belt. I think it has a timing chain. And he said, well, either way, the timing chain or the timing belt, you need to replace it at 100,000 miles.
That's just miseducation. That's all that is.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
And I talked to one person about that, right? Just one.
Yeah.
I didn't give the dealership a bad review.
And that is awesome because that kills.
I know.
It kills dealerships.
And that's one of the things we talk about, our people being empathetic to the customer situation.
Sure.
Customers also have to realize, man, this is a crazy freaking world we live in. We've had to go through all the COVID nonsense. Thank you there, Sean. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Scholars.
I think he's fast forwarding us. Is that what is he telling us to wrap it up? Here's your ice.
I got somewhere to go.
Here's your ice, you assholes. Pour another drink. Let's get the hell on with it. I got a tea time to make. But I kind of lost my train of thought.
I know, because now all I'm thinking about is playing golf. I don't even care anymore about
pouring more bourbon. Empathetic to the customer, right? I mean,
correct.
And the customer has to be empathetic to the business you're walking into.
Yeah,
we're coming off of this COVID nonsense. Everybody in the world seems like they've lost their freaking mind. Channel yourself.
Yeah.
When you go into a business, you have to understand that not everybody knows 100% what they're doing. Actually, walking around and living life now, I think that 95% of the people in this world don't have a fucking clue what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious.
They're all just winging it.
It's obvious.
So, just you don't have to hammer somebody, but if you can, educate
and help them.
Help them.
Let me tell you about that time and chain nonsense. I think that everybody should have as much experience, product knowledge as possible so that those kind of mistakes aren't made. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you something though with that. If this kid, this said individual, if they can say, let's go back to the situation. Okay. And I said, you got a timing chain or a timing belt. And then you said what you said. And I said, well, yeah, it doesn't matter if you got to replace it. If you take ownership of it and you say, listen, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I thought you had a V6. You have a 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
I made a mistake there.
Because all the V6s are timing belts.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry about that. That signs of growth. That signs of seeing somebody that really do take ownership of who they are as a salesman, as a conduit into this business that you're walking into, and being that person that you're like, even though you just butchered what you were doing, I think I want you to be my barber. I think I want you. I want to go to you because, man, you showed some honesty there. You showed some transparency right there, right? Humility, right?
And I gave him the cue. I put it out there.
You teed it up.
It's a 2.4 engine. I think it's a timing belt. Oh, you're right. That's right. Hey, it's got a timing chain.
Yeah.
That's an integral part of the engine.
Yeah.
It's it's in its own system. There's not a problem unless it breaks.
Right.
What I mean? You're not going to have to replace it unless it breaks. You're right. Okay. So we don't need to do that. Hey, spark plugs. Well, let's look at your filters. How can you spin it?
How can you spin it?
How can you adjust?
And again, it's being able to see. Missed opportunities are one thing that are a big deal. Deferred, right, are a big deal. If somebody comes in, and it's funny because we all, when you work together with a bunch of people, I remember it would be this customer's coming in and you'd see people picking up the phone or acting like they're busy.
Yeah.
And you walk up to them, gets out, like, oh, yeah, I just want to get my oil changed. And, I don't want to be here all day. But, okay, I'm going to skip the manager or the process. I'm going to deviate away from the process because of this person and the way that they are.
Yeah.
No, I didn't deviate. Hey, sir, one of my best friends on the planet, your best friends on the planet growing up, Jeremy Allison, he had this thing where he'd be like, sir, please come back over here. And he'd have him come over to the desk.
Okay.
He was not going to deviate. I want to tell you real quick, you're at 125,000 miles. We've recommended getting this timing belt because you do have one on this vehicle. We've recommended this timing belt. The last 6 times you've come in, I just want you to know about it. X, Y, and Z happens.
Yeah.
What
can happen if I don't get this done? This is what can happen.
And so all that, let's just fast forward through all that.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do it. Yeah, go ahead and do the spark plugs too. And I think the front brakes are making noise. And I don't know. Maybe the wipers too. So then everybody turns around. They're like, shit, what? You just sold. And then now everybody's like, oh, well, let me see if I recommended that last time. See if that comes back to me.
Oh, wow.
People have that kind of that mentality.
Yeah.
Here's the breaking point that I'm talking about. That way of doing business and sticking to it. I was going to cuss there, but I didn't. Sticking to it and making sure that you follow it is the Jeremy Allison way of doing business. And I bring his name up in a lot of meetings that I have because he identifies with that.
Yeah.
He implements that practice that we're trying to instill in people organically, right?
Yeah.
Organically.
Makes sense.
And I just wanted to bring that up. I just thought that was a good point.
No, shout out to J. Rue. If you're
J. Rue
the damager, if you are in a military unit and you're training in rough terrain, right? You are not marching on a desert floor. You're not marching down a city street. If you're out in terrain with different topography where you're changing elevations, oh yeah.
Hold on.
How good did that sound?
God, can we?
That was about as smooth as this Eagle Rare.
Yeah, that was amazing. All right, go ahead. So the top of what was it?
If you're changing topography, which is elevation in your landscape, right? We learned about this at some point, I think. So if you're training in this unit and you're in a small group or a larger group, whatever it may be, they train you that you walk where the person in front of you walks.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so imagine you're hiking up a mountain and you're having to step on rocks, you're having to do this, you're having to do that. The moment you deviate from that, I'm going to walk over here because I think this is the better path. The person in front of you just walked this path. Like you're walking behind them and it works. You step where they step, right?
Yeah.
The moment you deviate away from there, landmine.
Disaster.
Gone. They're done.
Disaster.
And maybe you took some of your brothers with you.
Disaster.
Right?
Yeah.
Follow the practices if they work. If you're creating practices, that's a whole another thing.
Well,
implementing whatever.
Then you think about organizational structure, right? You think about from the top of this organization, in-house organization, not partners or anything like that, but people that actually are there.
Okay.
And they, you can effectively manage 8 to 10 people, right? So then you've got this structure that goes down. When you get from your general manager or from your fixed ops director and you get, hey, listen, just looking at what we got going on here, we need to really tighten up the way that we're welcoming our customers, okay? Because they're not feeling greeted quickly enough. And surveys, reviews, they help us get better at doing our job. They're not just a condition of the job. They're there for a reason. And they suck. Dude, I'm not going to lie. Hey, Jason, we had a great conversation. We're talking about both of our kids playing soccer. And man, it's like, I know you, man, right? But thanks for your business. And you're going to get a survey. And if I don't get a perfect score on the survey, I could get fired from my job.
That kid that plays soccer, they're not going to be able to play soccer. Now it's like an ASPCA commercial with Sarah McLachlan singing in the background.
So it ends up going from being real and being a real kind of conversation and you having a real kind of deal to fake force-fed bullshit that I hate about the job. So what I tell, my people, and I tell myself is, find a way to believe in what you're talking about so that it doesn't sound like you're force-feeding them bullshit.
How are they going to believe in it if you don't believe in it?
Facts. If you have that passion, we talk about this all the time. Yeah. If somebody is passionate about a fucking yellow button on this Rodecaster Pro 3 or 2, all right? If they're passionate about it, I'm going to sit there and listen to them talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. It's the way that you communicate about it. Hey, listen, it's a big deal. The survey that you're going to get's a big deal. It's part of my job. If there's anything I missed when you're looking at that survey, give me a call. Give me a call to try to make it right.
Yeah. Can you call me directly before you know what I mean? Sit there and, lose a lung on air.
Dude. The pollen.
Yeah.
The pollen. Yeah. The ribs.
But it's constant education, constant elevation.
Yeah. Positive energy activates constant elevation. Peace, baby.
I mean, if you want your people to grow, if you want your people to be educated, you want to educate your customers, you got to constantly educate yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Wholeheartedly.
I'm just trying to maintain life right now.
Yes. Yeah. I am. All
right, so let me ask you a deeper question then.
All right.
All right, so mid-level management, right? They say it's one of the worst places to be, right? Because you catch everything. You catch the crap from downhill and uphill, right? Both. How do you keep the peace? How do you keep the positivity flowing? How do you keep the growth happening? If, let's say, hypothetically, you don't believe in the people above you as a manager.
That's tricky. That's a slippery slope, right? You've got to find out, no matter what that question kind of pertains to, there's always a commonality. There's always a common factor of why they're there and what their job is and what your job is and why you do it and why you have to do it. If you project negativity, you receive negativity.
Yeah.
If you're able to understand what's real and what's not real. What's real is that I might be getting bitched at for something that has nothing to do with me, with my people, with what we did. This person goes and they put a bad review on every single thing that they do. They go eat their whole entire meal and then want to talk to the manager about how cold their food was. Right?
Yeah.
Here's my point of this. That guy upstairs, he doesn't care. I don't care what they're going through. I don't care what that guy does. I don't care if it's a bad review. I don't care. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You still have to maintain your practice. And another thing too is, do the people above you, see, that, this review is full of crap? Or is it just a broad scale? All of them are graded the same. All the surveys are taken in the same. They don't take into account what the person's saying. And that's why I believe in some businesses that the survey thing is such a horrible way to grade as far as metrics.
No, without a doubt. Let me answer this. Let me give you a better answer here. The what you were asking. Okay, here's the deal. How do you project? How do you maintain the folks under you if you don't believe really what's going on above you, right?
True.
Right? Okay, what I'm going to do, 1,000% what I'm going to do, I'm going to do what I know is working, what I know that my people need in order to do what they've got to do to succeed. I'm not going to take whatever kind of negativity or whatever that might make me upset and then project that on them.
Yeah.
That's not fair to them.
And that's the thing. Part of being a good manager is almost like you're the colander, right? You have to strain the pressure that you're getting from the top, you know what I mean, and filter it for them.
Right.
And it's one of the things that I've told, some of my core, captains, in the business,
right,
is look, guys, I'm going to do my best to shelter you from the pressure I get.
Yeah.
I don't deserve a medal. No. I don't want a cookie.
No.
I just want you to know that some of the things that I'm dealing with, when you look over at me and say, hey, man, you okay? Like, you look like you got a lot on your mind.
Right.
It's like, well, some of those things you're not going to know about. You know why? Because I don't even want it in your head.
Yeah.
I don't want it festering because I'm processing it.
Yeah.
I'm processing and filtering and going through all the emotions and all.
It's a great point. And like, I had a situation happen. Too Poor podcast.
Number two.
Sorry,
I didn't mean to interject.
No, that's fine. But something that my boss man did. Jesus.
That's a healthy Too Poor.
That my
nice.
I said, man, you look like you're having a rough day. You're looking like you're upset or whatever like that. And the way that he said it, I've done before. I've been in the same situation before with him.
Okay.
He said, man, everything's just not about what's going on right now, right in front of you, or right. And I may butcher the way he's saying it, but he said it's not about like you at all or whatever. I'll get 97 fucking things going on at once, and I'm trying to just stay the course.
Trying to maintain. And
I've been there in that position before, and I understand exactly what he means. And then so what it does for me as just a good listener and good observer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is better just to shut the fuck up and walk away. Or sometimes it's better just to not say anything at all and understand, well, now that I know that from this gentleman.
Just let him be.
Let him be. And now that I know that, it's not that, man, he's not talking to me because he's mad at me. What am I, 5 years old? You don't want to play basketball with me outside? Well, no. So what that does for me is say, okay, well, I need to do my job. I need to turn around, I need to roll my sleeves up, fucking go to work, right? And what my job is to protect the one above me, right? Kind of what your job is, to not let it get to the one above me on the managing structure of things, right? That doesn't mean hide things. That doesn't mean lie to customers. It means, man up, roll your sleeves up, deal with the problem.
Yeah, and that's provided. Now, one thing, you care about your job, you care about your position, so you're going to do it regardless. But it's also care. I believe a good leader wants to be led by a good leader.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know what I mean? If you're a good leader and you do everything you can for the people under you and you try to educate them and grow them and coach them and motivate them and counsel them, don't you want the same thing from somebody above you?
1,000%.
So you want to, if you believe in them, you want to protect them, but you also need to protect the people under you from the bullshit coming above you. It's like that dual purpose thing.
Well, yeah.
But there's a lot that happens when you don't respect the person above you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're trying to filter all this other stuff. And man, I'm kind of one of those people. I got to believe in it or I don't.
Yeah. Or you don't want to. I get it.
It's hard to sell. It's hard to sell a product you don't believe in.
No, I agree. Unless you're just a master salesman, which I am, ladies and gentlemen, the smoky little town. No, but looking at people below me, and by that, no way, shape, or form do I mean that they are below me.
Strictly entitled.
The one thing that I have always respected growing up in the business is watching the boss work alongside the players, right? Going out there, greeting customers, writing cars up.
That's right.
There's one thing that I firmly believe in business, whatever respective business, but where you are. If you walk by a piece of trash on the ground, pick it up.
Yeah.
Throw it in the garbage. Not because I'm telling you to do that and I'm your boss, because that's the worst fucking thing that anybody of leadership could ever say.
Yep.
Well, why do I want you to do it? Because I'm your boss.
You lose all credibility.
I got slapped in the face with reality by a fellow one time when I told him that. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm a grown-ass man, dude. Yeah. You're not my boss. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, but listen.
Entitled I am.
Yeah. Hey, but he made good sense there. All right, so But go pick that piece of trash up.
Yeah.
Throw it in the garbage can.
Well, the thing you have to remember, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But you did. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I jumped right on it. If you are in management,
so good.
you are always being watched.
1,000%. Easiest place.
Yeah.
More short-lived place you could ever be.
Yeah. So if you don't pick up the piece of trash, then somebody says it's okay not to pick up the piece of trash.
Yep. Yeah.
You got to set the precedent.
Right.
One of the things, so my former company, when I was on a territory level, the regional ops director in the region, he and I butted heads a lot. And I don't think that we were too far off in what we believed to cohesively, right,
Okay.
as a unit. I just think there was a communication issue. When I became a regional and he was regional and then he got promoted to divisional, but when we were on that level together, we would, when we really got to spend time together, really got into the offices together,
Yeah.
it was almost like we were stumbling over ourselves trying to motivate each other.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's almost like you're like the over nice, the honey baby sugar pants
Fake.
waitress.
Fake.
But it wasn't fake though. It was
No?
just like he believed so much in motivational things. I believe so much in motivational things.
Y'all were trying to out-motivate each other?
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
it's like, well, here's this DVD called The Secret, and have you ever seen this
No, I
DVD?
haven't. No.
The Secret's based on the law of attraction.
Okay.
Right? It's positive affirmation.
Okay.
Speaking positive things into existence.
Okay.
What they don't want to talk about is that's biblical. Okay.
Ladies and
That's where
gentlemen,
it
here
stems
we
from.
go.
That's where it stems from. So, and then I started talking about a book written by Dr. Ernest Holmes, who was a Christian scientist, called The Science of the Mind.
Yeah.
And in that book, he's talking about everything here in science directly correlates with biblical. They're not two separate things.
Like people always kind of put them
Well, a
off
lot
to
of
be.
people say that. Like, well, I believe in science. I believe in the Bible. Man, who the fuck created science?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a cohesive nature. So we were constantly trying to do those things, and then we're putting together classes for the whole region, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking, 100 stores. So how are we going to put together this class on customer service?
Right.
How are we going to put this together on sales or whatever it may be that we can reach everybody?
To make it interesting.
Right. So we're just diving in. And, it goes back to, the foundations of everything. It's keeping things in perspective, right?
Yeah.
It's making sure that you understand that your team members are your biggest commodity. Your people are your biggest commodity,
1,000%.
not your customers.
Yeah.
Because you will grow that customer base if you got the right people doing the right things, the practices,
Yeah.
understanding the whys. How are you going to motivate your people? And that's a big thing for me, and I wanted to ask you that. If we're going back to the people aspect of things,
Yes.
what ways do you not necessarily implement, but what ways do you look to understand the people that you're managing and how to grow them? What are things that are important to you in that process of managing those people and growing them?
Well, I mean, just being there, being present, watching, listening, understanding. I'm one of the gifts that I have that I think I have that's pretty clear is when I meet someone, I know right away. Am I going to like them? Am I going to gel with this person? I can kind of read. I read people very
quickly.
Very quickly.
All right.
So when I see,
hold on. Do you think you're born with that, or do you think that's taught?
I don't think we could go into what you were born. We could go a lot of different ways.
I mean, do you think that's natural for certain people?
I think
it's taught?
I think that you can say it comes natural for certain people, right? It comes natural for me or whatever like that, but it's something that's taught. It's something that whether you taught yourself how to do it or whether you watched other people, and 9 out of 10 times it's something that you learn from watching somebody else do. Right? What happens? Like you think about these things, right? The movies that you watch, the songs that you hear. Now it's all these TikTok memes and shit like that. There's a quote on everything. The books that you read, there's quotes from everything, right? You learn it from places. You learn it.
Yeah.
One of the worst things about me is just the temper that I'll throw out when somebody's just Yeah, man, I'm just this good naturally. Like, you know what I mean? I just woke up this morning and just...
I wake up every morning and piss excellence.
Yeah, I'm just this good, man. I'm just... You know what, man? You're hiding something underneath there, man. There's a big umbrella over you, you know? And my thing, man, I'm going to fuck up. Man, I'm going to mess up. Man, I have messed up. I've learned from it, right? But I also, man, I watch people like a hawk. And I watch people and I see things that I love. And I'd rather see things I love than things I don't love. Right? That's the kind of person I am. When I watch somebody do something, whether it's a sell, whether it's a fellow coach watching them coach in a soccer game, right? Whether it's playing golf with somebody and watching them just stripe one, right? Man, I feel good seeing that they're doing that. And then guess what I'm going to do? Shit, man. What's he doing with that golf swing I'm not doing with mine? Oh, he's keeping his head up a bit so his shoulder has a little bit more clearance to get through there so he can whip around and hit that ball with a little bit more impact, right?
Okay.
Man, I learned that just now. I didn't just wake up and learn how to hit the fucking golf ball. I learned that, right? Yeah. One thing that I love about people is that people have the opportunity, ability to change. A lot of people stay the same. There's going to be a lot of the same about me that you've known me over 30 years, just like the same with you.
They say a tiger doesn't change his stripes.
Right? I wish we had the rawr thing. That'd be perfect. But there's things that you have to change. Like, you know, speaking about the you know, preventative maintenance and stuff like that and how I was joking around about myself. Dude, I need to change the intake. I need to change what I'm putting in my body. Yeah. Except for Eagle Rare Bourbon. I will continue to put that in my body. But,
everything else, you need to adjust.
But there's changes, right? There's... I just caught that. I just caught that.
He's hitting random buttons, trying to find an answer to that. Yeah.
The random button on a font is on your freaking nose.
Let it burn.
But, all right, well, listen, man. All right, this is something that I think... you know, it's important to kind of finalize things with, if you're all right with it.
Okay.
Final shot, if you will.
A parting shot?
A parting shot.
Okay.
Is that on your notepad right there that you got written down? You nerd.
Yeah, right next to insulting you 17 times.
Haven't you heard yet?
Yeah, I'm at 4.
You still got points, so we have a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, get away from the bourbon. Get away from the
not happening.
Get away from the bourbon. Get away from the perfect management deal. Is there anything that on your mind of like relatively something that's happened very recent that you want to get off your chest and throw a parting shot out with?
Wow. Are you throwing that on me?
Oh, man, I'm throwing this shit at you like a bucket of rice, kid.
All right, so there are a few things that I wrote down that I want to talk about.
Oh,
God. Just in case you randomly asked me this.
I really did think you... Oh, look at that chicken scratch. Do you write with your feet?
Yeah, no, I write with my cock.
That's why it looks like it's all covered with AIDS.
That's why it actually goes so long down this paper.
Every time I pee, the water's cold.
I started out at the top, and then I thought about certain things. I got excited. I wrote down the whole page. Yeah. All right. So if we're going to give a parting shot, I want my parting shot to go strictly to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Oh yeah, we're going deep now. So the good thing about us is we try to keep it positive on most everything, right? Because we want to grow and
absolutely,
and, people.
But it looks like you got something to say.
Oh man, I got a lot to say. Let me keep. I'm going to try to temper myself. But here's the deal. I want to give a parting shot to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch and this Alyssa Heinerschnod, Heiner Taint. I don't know whatever her name was. Alyssa Heinerschnod, her Sheed, who was the vice president of marketing for vice president of marketing. For Bud Light. In an attempt to change, in her words, the frat boy image. That Bud Light has gone through over the last multiple decades. I mean, to me, I thought Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light were a pretty popular product. I don't drink it, and I certainly won't drink it ever again. I don't like piss water, but at the same time, she wanted to change that frat boy image, and she wanted to give an image of more inclusivity. She wanted to be more inclusive of everybody. And her words now, right? If we want to get or continue this brand so that it doesn't fail, we need to get more young people drinking it.
Oof.
Listen, just like we said earlier, you choose who to support based on your dollars.
Right.
Regardless if you admit it, regardless if you even know, the products you buy are supporting a cause. The products you buy are supporting a company. What does that company stand for? You might dive into it, you might not. You might buy Pop-Tarts because you like Pop-Tarts.
Come on.
Is what it is. You don't have a clue what the parent company does, or you can find out if you dive into it. And then that's your choice, whether you know, right? So they wanted to change the frat boy image. She said that the brand's been declining and they need to get more young people drinking. So
The brand's been declining?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as profitability and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So you got people in a boardroom sitting there throwing out there, how are we going to get more young people to drink?
Okay.
Come on now.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
It's one thing to sit back and have a glass of bourbon when we're 40, and we're in our 40s and we're managers.
Early 40s.
Early 40s. And we take care of our stuff. We handle our business, et cetera, right? All right. So they wanted to get more young people to drink. So they wanted to bring a more inclusive environment. So what they did is they built an ad campaign based around this Dylan Mulvaney, who is a male and decided to be a transition into being a woman.
Okay.
And so his whole process of becoming a woman, although he's still a biological man and that will never change, he chronicalized or chronological order on social media and everything like that, and gave the whole insight to the whole process. So they built this ad campaign on this male who wanted to become a woman.
Okay.
And it led to a whole bunch of backlash. They believe the company's lost $5 billion in value. That's a lot of money. I don't care who you are. And there's been a whole bunch of people who've spoken out about it and things like that. So
your influencers, your celebrities, your people of influence have
some people
spoke out.
The very few, because I believe a lot on the leftist side of things, they will try this cancel culture in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
They don't like the way your dealership did a certain thing, so they're going to do everything they can to cancel you just because their feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
I feel like most
Emotional
of them
fucking
hate
bums.
themselves. They're not confident. They don't love themselves. So all they want to do is spread hate. They want everybody else to be as miserable as they are. Rarely do you see the conservative side of the base of argument do this.
Sure.
And it's one of those things to where turnabout is fair play. And if you fuck around, you're going to find out.
Yeah.
I think the conservative base, I think the Republican base, I think the right side of the argument is getting fed up.
Yeah.
And if you want, that's like people talk about a gun problem. You know what I mean? The largest army in the world is gun owners in the United States who handle their business and don't hurt people.
Right.
You ever want an army? If you think there's a gun problem, you will know when there's a gun problem.
Yeah.
It's when those people get really pissed off. But that's
Guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Yeah, my AR has never assaulted anybody.
No.
It is what it is. But they lost $5 billion in value, and now it's led to this Heiner Schnod or whatever taking a leave of absence, air quote. She's taking a leave of absence from her vice president of marketing position.
Just out of nowhere?
Yeah, out of nowhere. And they've replaced her with another gentleman from Anheuser-Busch. So, fuck around and find out. I wouldn't drink Bud Light anyways because it's piss water.
Come on.
If you're going to go out, support your local brewery. Go get a craft beer from your local brewery. They're popping up everywhere. Support them because that's family. They're not marketing to try to get your 20-year-old to just start drinking as soon as they turn 21.
Yeah.
They're here to provide a positive environment and a happy environment for you to go enjoy a beer at your local establishment.
Yeah.
Support those people. Cancel culture. It's one of those things, well, I don't like it when this happens.
Oh, God.
Well, stop trying to cancel people who believe in what they do.
The entitlement that people have and the entitlement that is force fed. Listen, I'm just gonna say this just because it was a funny video, but I believed it, and it's a video that I sent you. And it was that English lady, and the guy said something about how many genders are there. She said 2.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Well, what about X, Y, and Z?" And she said, "I don't care. I don't care what you're going to tell me. I think it's brilliant. If you identify as a lampshade, cool. I'm going to stick this light bulb up your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just not going to force feed that on me, right?
No.
And see, the problem that I see right now that's going on is that it is so oversaturated with emotions, and you can't say this and you can't say that. You can't act this way. You can't. You know what, man? At the end of the day, I really think that it's caused more problems and obviously profitability problems in their business when you're losing $5.6 billion.
Yeah.
Kanye West knows about that. No offense. Okay. I want you to subscribe as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like the College Dropout.
But it was really good. But think about it, dude. All we're doing is trying to walk on eggshells all the time, and don't say this. Don't coming from people like us. Mm-hmm. Like if somebody warned us and said, hey, yeah, by the way, when you see Sean, don't look him directly in the eyes. He's, what are you telling me what I can and can't do? I'm a grown. Are you gonna tell me what I can and can't do?
Yeah.
But that's what they're forcing on us.
Yeah.
And it's all the time, everywhere you go.
Yeah, can't do this, can't do that.
And guess
read
what,
the
man?
signs.
You know what, man? Act accordingly. Act with respect. Project out what you expect to be seen as.
Yeah.
Don't ask the question if you don't want to really hear what the fucking answer is.
And here's the thing.
Right?
You might agree with me, or we do, you and I, even though we agree on a lot of things, we don't agree on everything.
Hell no.
But there's fuck you. That sounded argumentative right there. Let me go find my safe space. Yeah. No, but the thing is if you agree with me or disagree with me, that's your right. And you have that ability to do so, and you have that right to do so.
Yeah.
And I have the right to disagree with you. At the end of the day, let's keep it respectful. Let's move on down the road. Yeah. I don't care if you want to cut your dick off and turn it into a damn doorstop. Right? You do what you want to do with your body, but don't expect me to believe that is normal. Don't expect me to believe that is not something that comes from a person who needs mental help. Don't expect me to believe that that's or accepted. I'm not going to accept that. I will never accept that. Never. That doesn't mean I want anything bad to happen to you. That doesn't mean I want you to be hurt. That doesn't mean I don't want you to get help. But I'm not going to agree with it ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's my right.
And I think that's important for you to say that. And I'm always been impressed with the way that you see things and the way that you are very, listen, man, you're not one dimensional, but so don't take this the wrong way, but you are very, listen, man, this is what I believe. This is what I think. This is coming from me.
Yeah. Me.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And it's just, it's something that at the end of the day, if you can't enjoy a bourbon with your brother and having some conversations about things and really, really talking about things that are happening and giving real thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck are you doing? Right?
I don't think we could do this if we weren't going to be completely honest.
No,
we both agree that we are going to put ourselves out here on this table for the world to judge, talk about, and things like that. And we're not going to make everybody happy.
No,
not everybody is going to agree with us, but I at least expect and hope that people who respond to this, comment, send us messages, will at least say, hey, you know what? I might not agree with you, but I respect your opinion.
Okay.
And that's where I think we self-evolution.
Right.
If everybody has the same mindset of self-evolution, and if you make a mistake, admit it.
Yeah.
If I realize my point of view is wrong on something because I didn't have the right education, and then that education changes and then my opinion changes, I'm gonna say it.
Take accountability.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say one quick story. Right? Can I do that?
Yeah.
One quick story. I don't know his name. I don't remember his name. There was a coworker of mine who worked at one of the local stores when I was with the last company I was with. His best friend was a grassroots Republican activist in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, and he's gay. Okay. All right. Doesn't take away from anything that he is, but he happens to be a gay Republican. Now, if you look at the groups of political demographics, gay Republicans are not a very high majority, in as far as volume. All right. So he has been an activist for years in the gay community. He wants to make sure gay rights, that they're not persecuted, all this other kind of stuff, right? Okay, completely okay with. You do what you need to do, right? Respectfully, you do what you need to do.
Okay.
So he wanted, and he happens to be a Trump supporter. And his thing is, listen, Trump does not agree with being gay, but he he respects his opinion enough to say, you know what, I respect his opinion. And this is why I respect his opinion, because he said, I don't agree with it, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you are protected for your right to be gay. And he said, you know what, to hear a politician say that, he was like, and this is coming third hand now. I didn't hear him say it. It was just coming, getting funneled through the mutual friend.
Yeah.
He was like, to hear him say that made me respect him so much more, because even though he doesn't agree with it, right? His right.
Sure.
That he's going to protect us. When listening to the Hillarys, listening to the Obamas who flip-flop, right? Even Biden, the video came out here recently where he is yelling at a reporter or getting loud with a reporter saying, I'm not going to answer this question again. A marriage is between a man and a woman.
Oh,
that's law.
Yeah.
And that is Black's Law Dictionary.
Yeah.
And Black's Law Dictionary, if you don't know, check it out, because that's the law of government. That's the law of courts.
Yeah.
That's true law. You think you know English? Unless you know Black's Law Dictionary English, you don't know English, because those are the words that buy and sell us on a regular basis. Whole another subject. So he said, okay, I respect the guy. So during the Trump, presidential, cycle of his 4 years, they were doing the gay pride parade in Charlotte, which they do downtown. And he went to the board and said, look, I want to get a float in the parade. He's had floats in the parade before now. He's well known in this community as an activist, well respected, until he decided to talk about him supporting Trump and said, I want a gay Republican Trump supported float, because they ask you, well, what is your float going to be about? Blah, 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 this and that. They got to make sure the narrative is there.
Yeah.
They got to make sure their narrative is there, right? And this is where you get into the hypocrite side of the people on the left. Mm-hmm. They said, no, can't do it. Can't do it. What do you mean? I'm gay. I'm an activist. I just happen to support the Republican Party and happen to support Trump. And they were like, no, absolutely not. We're not going to have a Trump-supported float in this parade.
Right. Yeah.
So a party that doesn't want to be persecuted, a party that doesn't want to be silenced, is going to choose to silence one of their own people. Mm. He went with a group of supporters to the parade there. He was getting spit on. He was getting stuff thrown
harassed.
at him.
Absolutely.
Harassed.
Yeah.
So when you talk about being inclusive, they still segregate
their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that hypocrisy bullshit. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because you and I, what we're going to do here is give our opinions,
sure,
our thoughts, our passions, our beliefs onto this podcast.
Right.
And that will change for no one.
Well, let me tell you something. I'll take that as a parting shot. I'll take that as a final thought.
Good, because the other one was a rough draft. So this was actually, that was the official parting shot.
Cheers to you. Cheers to your thoughts and your beliefs. And I just know you as a friend, as a brother, and I know that you say what you mean what you say, right?
Yeah.
And my only goal is to stay very present with the people that I love and the people I respect, the people I care about, my family, my beautiful children, my beautiful wife, and know that whatever I'm leaving on this earth, whatever footprint I'm leaving behind when I'm dust,
yep,
is hopefully something that's identifiable, and they could say, hey, man, this guy stood for something. This guy, if they had something to describe me in a couple words, hopefully it's glorious. Magnanimous. Hopefully it has some like Matthew McConaughey kind of,
a rare eagle drinking eagle rare.
Yes, flying so into the air.
So like an eagle.
Get the bottle away from Jason Bridwell, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I wish I could sing. If there was anything I wish I could do, singing would be number one.
Yes. Well, look, we got to wrap this up. I got to go drive to Boone, North Carolina for a soccer game. I'm
True
excited.
Story.
I'm excited about it. Hopefully we get a W out of it. Right?
Let's get that done.
I'm not going to yell at the referee.
Please
not today. Not today, Satan.
No.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
That's how he brings you down.
However, if he does make some dumb calls,
fuck around and find out. All right, listen, everybody, join us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Too Poor Podcast. Go get it, subscribe, like, support the people who support you, support your family. Give us some love. We need it.
All day long, all day long. Love it. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. All right.
Is it tasty?
It's fucking great, man.